Hi everyone, my name is Meiji Chan, and today my topic for the presentation is why should the government regulate the tax evasion for the rich? Today, my speech will be divided into three parts. In the first part of the speech, I will introduce the background information for recent tax evasion events and general analysis focusing on the Chinese and US system. Then, reasons for increasing regulation for the rich will be discussed based on the tax equity principle. In the last part, recommendations for how to tax the rich will be made. Okay, first, let's move to the first part. It can be seen for first, let's move to the first part. It can be seen for the figure above the income tax has grown in recent years. The tax revenue last year for China amounted to about RMB 2 trillion. One of the main growth drivers is the income tax, increasing by 12%. Such growth can be attributed to increased regulation for tax evasion. There are several key events concerning tax evasion in China and US. For instance, last month, the Deng Lun, the famous movie star, was fined 106 million yuan for tax evasion. According to the authorities, he made false declaration and underpaid personal income tax. He is not the first high-profile tax dodging celebrity in China, and this phenomenon also reflects many ways used by the rich to evade the tax. In previous years, tax authorities do not pay attention to how rich evade tax, while increased regulation has been imposed by this field. Before introducing the characteristic of the Chinese and US tax system, I want to introduce the principle of tax equity. This principle is related to how citizens share the tax burden. Not only should each individual receive equal treatment, but also those with the privilege who relocate their resource. However, it seems that both China and US tax system do not follow this principle. You can see from the data below the highest. After introducing relevant background information, in this section, I will analyze the reasons for increasing regulation for the rich based on the previous analysis. Analyze. In figure 1, how top 1% people evade tax in US is illustrated. This worsens the social inequality in current society. The top 1% of American earners fail to report about 21% of their incomes to the IRS in US. Significantly, more than was previously known, not only offshore assets in Swiss bank accounts are hidden, but also pass-through business are used. This greatly worsens the whole situation of the capital market. The figure on the right side also proves this point. Who are the winners for the tax evasion? The answer is obvious. The rich. 50 biggest US companies stash over 1.6 trillion offshore in 2020. That is the reason why the top 1% families in US share over 90% of the wealth. The situation is also similar in China. How can an actor earn over 2 million in one day without paying tax. If this situation continues, the working class will just be poor. That is why I think the losers are the ordinary people. For low and middle income workers, the compliance costs for the tax evasion are really high. The tax for the personal income is deducted directly from our account, and relevant capital gain tax is minor. As a result, we are unable to make use of accounting and low loopholes to hide offshore money. That is why the middle class pay the most tax. The following table can be illustrate this point.
Okay, I will analyze the reasons for increasing regulation for the rich based on the previous analysis. In figure, it shows top 1% people evade tax in US is illustrated. This will worsen the social inequality in current society. So, who are the winners for the tax evasion? The answer is obvious: the rich. As a result, we are unable to make use of loopholes to hide offshore money. The middle class also pay more tax. Compared to the US and China, Swedish is a really good case to illustrate the importance of regulating the rich. Besides, taxing the rich is the method of raising money to offer better public service. Not only can taxation be used for the vital public service like hospitals and schools and so on, but also it can be used for taking property inequality. If the government does not regulate the taxation for the rich, they need to collect higher tax from everybody else.
It is obvious that this method is not reasonable. In the last slide, I want to give recommendation for how to tax the rich. One great method is to increase offshore regulation through the collaborating with other countries. The figure on the right side illustrates the importance of financial resilience index. Countries with the relatively higher financial secrecy index should be willing to collaborate with other countries to disclose information. The current disclosure system can be reformed and replaced. For instance, the unrealized gains should be taxed directly from the rich. That can be realized through the new reform. Regulation and disclosure are also really critical for tackling the problem. Recent years,
one great method is to increase offshore regulation through cooperating with other countries. The figure on the right side illustrates the importance of financial society index. Regulation is disclosure are also really critical in tracking the problem. Recent years have witnessed an increase in capital gain tax. That reflects the attached importance to the problem by the government.